Hello, everybody. Welcome to Andrea Thrive's Small Business Webinars. Today is Thursday, December 7th, and you are attending one of our weekly webinars created to help New Jersey small business owners start, grow, and thrive. Welcome to this webinar. If you are new here, then thank you for joining. We hope that we have a great journey ahead to help your small business. And if you have been attending our webinars, thank you so much for your continued support. And we hope that you attend many more webinars and we have a great partnership ahead. Um, so my name is Uzma Sheikh. I'm a consultant here at NJSBDC. And what is NJSBDC? What does it stand for? That stands for New Jersey Small Business Development Centers. It's a network, a statewide program powered by the SBA. Stands for Small Business Administration and partners like NJBAC Business Action Center to help small businesses in New Jersey with three main things. And those three main things are no cost small business consulting. And I always like to repeat that yes, it is at no cost. Training and events starting at $0, just like this one that you're attending, and exclusive small business resources. If you look at the map there on the right, then you'll see, of course, that's the state of New Jersey divided into all the counties, and you'll see a small SBDC logo. That is where our regional centers are located. So if you would like to attend in person, then of course you can make an appointment and attend in person, but we also offer virtual counseling and events. So we have on the agenda, we have a couple of headlines from the small business community that we're sharing. And then we have our presentation from our speakers, and then we will have our Q&A. But while I go through those headlines and while I share the information with you, please tell us where you're from, what you are, what you do, what your small business is about, what kind of small business or what type of small business you have. So if it's in the financial services, agriculture, construction, communications, media, feel free to let us know. It's a great opportunity for you to network in the chat virtually, even though it's not in person. Chat is a great way to network. All right, moving on to the headlines. And these links will be shared with you in the chat by our wonderful webinar assistant. So first is a press release that we have from the SBA. SBA announces 2023 surety companies and agencies ranking. Bond agencies and surety company partners, helped facilitate over $2.2 billion in contracts and supported more than 37,000 jobs. And these top performing companies are listed here. So from 1 to 10, then bonding agencies 1 to 10. If you'd like to check them out, do your own research, then I recommend that you visit this press release page and check it out. Second is also a press release from the SBA. U.S. Small Business Administration announces first ever season of small business campaign. So campaign builds on small business boom under Biden-Harris administration, encourages Americans to shop small throughout the holiday season. And oh, here we go. So 33 million small businesses, that's a big number, with more than 14.6 million new business applications nationwide. That's awesome. And third is also a press release from NJEDA released just 2 days ago. Revised film and digital media tax credit program rules for public feedback. So this is very common to do. What is it? It's a document posted, and it's a draft still to revise set of rules. For this credit program, it will be presented to the NJEDA program. If you'd like to submit feedback, then please write to them no later than 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, December 19th. And that feedback can be submitted here at this link. And final, we have a headline from Defense Tech Connect Innovation Summit. So this summit was held this past week, last week, 9.6 million in funding awarded to 7 DBX winners. That's Defense Business Accelerator. Winners are listed here along with their photos. So if you're interested in the tech space, then we have a tech team that you would be great fit for. Then we encourage you to go to our website and check it out. If you are one of the R&D companies and would like to apply to any of the SBIR, excuse me, SBIR or SDTR programs. All right, moving on from the headlines. We have some housekeeping rules that we'd like you to keep in mind. Number one, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box. So I see responses coming into the chat. Thank you for that. Right next to the chat, you will see Q&A. That's where you will put in your questions. So later on, when we have our Q&A session, we can address them. If you put them in the chat, they might get lost, and would hate for them to get lost because we want to make sure that we answer those questions for you. And then, if you'd like to receive the slides that our presenters will show you, then please complete a brief survey and you'll receive them. It'll be a link to the PDF slides, to the PDF document, excuse me, and you can review them on your own. Also, just a reminder, this webinar is being recorded. So if you'd like to view it later on at your own time, you can. It will be available on our website or our YouTube channel in 1 to 2 business days. All right, enough from me. You'll hear from Ky Asral today from NJDEP Sustainability Bureau Chief, and Karen Auld, who's one of our specialty consulting, presenting on sustainability and business, building a future-ready 2024 business plan. Ky and Karen, thank you so much for doing this for us today. We welcome you, and take it away. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Great. Thank you, Uzma. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here today. Ky and I are very excited to talk to you about sustainability and how you can add sustainability into your 2024 business planning. So let me share my screen. Get to the beginning here. Okay, so a little bit about me. As Uzma mentioned, I am a specialty consultant with the Small Business Development Center based in Fairleigh Dickinson. I've been with the Small Business Development Center for, 7 years now. What I was initially brought in to do was to talk about strategic planning, goal setting, mindset. I'm a certified success coach. But this is really exciting for me today because I'm bringing those two things together, because outside of the Small Business Development Center, I'm an environmental professional. I've been working in the field for over 30 years. So here I'm bringing in some strategic planning and mindset discussions to the sustainability realm. So very excited to do this presentation with you. And I'm going to let Ky give his introduction.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Ky Asral. I'm the Bureau Chief for the Bureau of Sustainability. And one of the things that I try my best to do is to understand what businesses' needs are from an environmental perspective, and then show them how that they can meet those needs. So some of these things revolve in the world of conservation. Some of it has to do with compliance with rules and regulations. So, there's a lot of things that the Department of Environmental Protection does have regulations on, and for small businesses to comply with them is very difficult. So we have a program here, which is also free. It's the Small Business Assistance Program. And we also have another one called the Pollution Prevention Program. And through a combination of these two efforts, we try to make sure that businesses in New Jersey are complying with the rules and regulations, and at the same time trying to prevent any kind of environmental issues And then maybe even ultimately they can eliminate that need of environmental regulation on them because they no longer are impacting the environment. So that's really the goal there. And sustainability is a large part of that. So as we go on and talk more, I'll try to impart what our activities are that can help businesses do that.
Great. Thanks, Ky. Okay, so our agenda for this presentation, first of all, we want to start with a baseline of what is sustainability and why does sustainability matter to your business? And then from there, we're hoping you're going to be excited to start doing some planning. So how do you implement sustainability practices into your own business? And Ky and I we're going to be sharing with you a really cool tool to help you do that. So before, though, I get into it, I know Uzma asked you earlier, but if you can put in the chat for me, what types of business are you running? What is your business? So just put put that in the chat so that we have that top of mind so we can see things. I see some people putting things in. Great, thank you. So let's see, what do I see here? I've got health and wellness. We've got retail and home. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, great. Consulting firm, freelance. I see land surveying, architecture. Perfect. Thanks, everybody. All right, that's going to help us with our presentation, so thank you. All right, so I want to start out with talking about what is sustainability. This video is from UCLA, and it's a great overview of the mindset of really what is sustainability. So I'm going to play this for us.
What is sustainability? One of the more common definitions of sustainability used worldwide is from the UN Brundtland Commission. They say sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So put simply, sustainability is about our kids and our grandkids. How do we live today so that they can thrive and future generations can also have a good life? Our planet has many resources that we depend on for food, for housing, and many of those resources can replenish. You can cut down a tree and grow new trees. You can catch fish and there will be more fish. But that only works if you do it at a rate that these systems can replenish. We call that the replacement rate. You could think of it as a bathtub, and you're draining the bathtub and filling the bathtub at the same rate. And if you do that, then the level of the water should be able to stay stable. We call that equilibrium. It's not that you're not using any resources, you are, but you're doing it at a rate that the systems are able to stay somewhat steady. Right now, and over the past few decades, what we're seeing is that we are consuming resources much faster than the replacement rate. And the result of that, draining the bathtub faster than filling it, is that those levels are going down. We're seeing fisheries disappearing and other ocean life. We're seeing forests disappearing. Of course, everyone is familiar with the impacts of climate change and, other impacts of this level of consumption, plastics in the ocean, all of these problems. So ultimately, sustainability is about understanding how all of this is connected, understanding that when you make a decision to buy a smartphone, you are impacting someone's life on the other side of the planet who's involved in mining the materials to put in that smartphone. So sustainability is about systems thinking. One of the other big frameworks that we use to talk about sustainability is the 3 E's. In business, we call that the triple bottom line. Some people call it the 3 legs of the stool. And that's environment, economy, and equity. And it's not just about understanding that we need to manage all of those. It's understanding how they're connected. So if you only look at short-term economic profit, then you're not going to end up with a thriving economy in the long term. If you're only looking at conserving the environment without thinking about economics and understanding, how people are making their livelihood, you also may not end up with a thriving society. And if you aren't looking at equity, you're going to end up with a few people that have most of the resources and many people who are hungry and not living a good life. And that's not really a successful human society either. So sustainability is really about addressing all of those and understanding the connections between them. And many of those.
Okay. So let's unpack that a little bit. And I love to start with this definition that they, started the video with. And it's really, it's a simple definition. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of present without compromising the future. And that's really what we're looking at when we talk about systems thinking around sustainability and your business. What's happening today to affect your future, the future of your community, the future really of, our planet. They talked about in the video the 3 E's, and you also might have heard of the triple bottom line when they talk about sustainability. And that was people, planet, and profit. In the video, they talked about economy, environment, and equity. So when we look at these 3 things, and when we make business decisions, how can we look at these 3 components when we're making a business decision? And that's really what sustainability is. It's getting you as a business owner to think in that systems thinking. It's not just one thing over here. It's when you chop down that tree, what is the effect? When you buy that smartphone and, someone has to mine the materials from that, right? That's really what sustainability is all about. It's that systems thinking. And when when we're busy in our business, when we're just, I always talk about, you have to work, in your business. So you have to perform, if you're I saw somebody posted that they were an architect, right? If you're an architect, you have to be out there, measuring, drawing, meeting with the clients. But then there's also the part of working on your business, where maybe you want to take a class to ensure that like what the next thing is for, efficiency from energy in your home. So that's what we're talking about here. It's pausing. We get so busy. And I think that's really where there's the sustainability where we are failing as a society. And a lot of times as business owners, is that we're so busy that we don't stop and make room for this systems thinking. So that's a real high overview of what sustainability is. And here I want to spend a little time. So why? Why do you need to worry about this as a business owner? So this is an article from just this September from Fast Money, 3 keys to strengthening your brand with eco-conscious consumers. And there are a lot of them now. In the article, it talks about consumers are more educated and activated than ever before. So consumers want to know, what are you doing around sustainability? They want to know that you care. And in the article, it also talked about, it said 88%, that's a big percent, 88 of consumers want brands to help them be more environmentally friendly. So they're looking for your business to help them be environmentally friendly. So if you have a product that, like, for example, is made out of some upcycled material, that's something that you want to be talking about. You want to be educating your consumer, your buyer, that you have this in your product, right? They want to know. So it's really affecting, you could have a big differentiator in your business when you talk about sustainability. Here's another article from Forbes, the title, Why Committing to Sustainability is Critical for Today's Business. And this was just from, I think, like last week, I pulled this article out. And in the article, it's talked about, sustainability is not a trend. It will not fade away or be replaced by a new trend. It's our collective responsibility. So here, when you're looking at your business, we need to protect the planet, right? We need to ensure that we can keep going, as a species even. But the other thing too, to think about when you think about sustainability, and when they say it's not a trend, if you are a service provider and you're going to do an RFP for another company, you're going to start seeing, if you haven't already, that these companies are asking you, well, what is your commitment on sustainability? They want to know that they're partnering, they're going to bring in somebody to work for them that is committed to sustainability. If you have a product and you want to sell it to Walmart, I can tell you right now, because I do this for people, for clients, there's a whole sustainability section between your product, your product ingredients, to what your packaging is. They're looking at all of this. So again, this is not a trend. It's not going away. This systems thinking, sustainability is really important that you start adding this into your business planning. So the big question, how do you do it? How do you incorporate sustainability into your business goals? Well, Ky and I wanted to take today to introduce you to a partnership that our both organizations, are involved in. So the Small Business Development Center has partnered with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection on the New Jersey Sustainable Business Registry. And I'm going to turn it over to Ky because he's going to walk you through what that registry is.
All right. Thank you, Karen. So hopefully the screen sharing is working.
Yep.
Okay, great. So the Sustainable Business Registry is a product that's designed by the Small Business Development Centers of New Jersey in collaboration with the Department of Environmental Protection. This came through a grant that we got from EPA to have a place where people can exchange ideas on what makes their companies sustainable. So we give recognition to those companies that are able to achieve 5 sustainable actions. And what I would like to show you guys here is what that results in. So we have on the website several different things. One of the things here are resources. So resources are things that would help a business in order to create a action that's sustainable, or also be able to calculate those things that they're implementing. So in our resources, we have things that will help them be more sustainable. And one of the things I think is that it seems like the simplest thing to do, but not everybody ends up doing it, is creating management and leadership that will shepherd the sustainability efforts by the business. But doing this is an action that you can get credit for on the Sustainable Business Registry. Of course, any kind of waste that you reduce or eliminate just by saying, okay, well, I can reduce the amount of waste I generate, I can reuse things instead of throwing them out, or I can recycle them. All of those are sustainable efforts. But of course, reducing is the most sustainable. Of course, there's transportation. We know that in New Jersey, the largest amount of greenhouse gas emissions from anything that happens in New Jersey is actually coming from transportation. So that's 40% of our greenhouse gas emissions are coming from this particular sector. All right. So any reductions individuals do there is going to contribute to a cleaner New Jersey. And there are several other things that you can do, including working within your community to make your community better. That could be anything from community gardens, sponsoring a local soccer team, inviting the community in, hiring veterans. These are community type efforts that also contribute to sustainability. So these are our resources. But what I'd also like to show you here is who actually is on the registry. So a lot of you folks have identified yourselves. Thank you for sharing that you're architects, you're in the restaurant business, you do retail fashion, you're fashion designers. Well, we have, things in agriculture, architecture here, arts and entertainment, repair facilities, spas and beauty places that do hair, makeup, breweries. There's a whole lot of different folks that end up on this registry. So I think if you mentioned some business that you're in, there's probably somebody on here that's in a similar type business. I know we had somebody say that they're in the insurance business. So we have like Farmers Insurance on here, fitness, a number of yoga facilities, other types of restaurants and food and beverage places, even funeral services. So there's a whole list of facilities here. And what each one of them ends up doing is identifying what they're doing to make the environment better, make their communities better. So this one place, Jam and Crepes, describes what they're doing in order to be more sustainable. And you can even upload a video and you can watch the videos of other people that have contributed their information. But number one thing this facility did was adopt an environmental policy statement. And then they did recycling. They show how many pounds of stuff they've saved over time. They've done energy efficiency upgrades that are conserving water, and they're supporting their employees. So there's a number of things any business can do to get onto the registry, and each one of these things help contribute to improving New Jersey. Now, again, you do have to meet some certain criteria. Some of these things have to be measurable. Some of these things one of the things have to be a financial benefit. So there's different things that you can do in order to achieve that level of 5 actions. And it's not hard, but it is something that you would have to do and then share it onto the registry. Again, this is a free service through the SBDC. And if there's any kind of questions, there's ways to communicate with folks that will help you along the way in order to achieve the results you're looking for. Okay, so I'll stop sharing that screen, and that for folks that want to look at it, it's if you type in a Google search NJSBDC registry, the Sustainable Business Registry, it'll be the first thing that comes up in your search.
Great, thanks, Ky. So let me jump back. So again, as Ky said, here's the website down here, registry.njsbdc.com will get you to the website. And, when you click around in there, again, so many resources to help you to start thinking about, is this the right thing for you, and to help you start, just even brainstorming and benchmarking what could your business do? To give you a little bit, some more examples, Ky talked about waste. When you look at your business, I always look at waste is money loss. You bought a raw material, you bought something, now you're throwing it away, right? Now you may have gotten the purpose out of that material, and that's great, but how efficient was that? So let's say, for example, like in my little drawing over here, you were a triangle maker and you were using a piece of material to make your triangles. And that's the pattern. The first one on the left is the pattern that you started out with. Well, now you're, look at the efficiency by just laying it out, and you have so much less waste. That's what we're talking about. Like, that's how you can look at waste. We want to reduce, we want to look at efficiency. And then, like, when you're saving in raw material, especially, that is a cost savings that can maybe go back to your consumer. So the differentiator, if you're saving money and producing less waste, that could be something that goes back to your consumer. So look at, I always tell people, start just by doing like a garbage audit. What's going in the garbage at your business, and start looking at those things. And like what we call reverse engineering, right? Look at how you used it. Could you use it in a different way so that it would produce less waste? So these are like, to me, all this stuff is really fun. It's like a puzzle. You step back and you take a look at things and like, how can I do this better for my business, for my finances, for the planet? And one of the other topics that was, let me go back here, that was in the registry is emergency preparedness. So this was just from October. So this was Hoboken could get another 5 inches of rain. And you'll see, so that picture there, I'm going to blow up. And that's a delivery guy delivering food, walking through the water. Now, if I was the restaurant owner and I've got to send somebody out to do these deliveries, because maybe even these houses don't have electricity. They can't cook. So, I want to be that person in the community that has the food available, right? I got to send my guy out there to do deliveries. Okay. Does he have boots on? I can't tell. Is he okay with this? Did I force him to come in? And this is what we look at with emergency planning. How would your business run in an emergency? I would think if you provided that guy with some boots, the retention of that person is going to be higher, right? Another employee that you don't have to train. So these are things that, again, I think people hear sustainability, they think of this registry like, oh, wow, it's overwhelming. I'm not sure what to do. But these are some of the simple things that you can do to join the registry and to, claim that your business cares about sustainability. And, this picture right here, I think we've all come to realize that these extreme weather events aren't going anywhere. They're happening more and more and more. So as a business, we need to be ready for those. What are you going to do? Are you going to close down your business? You're going to keep going? All those things. And that can be part of the registry. So this is a real high level, maybe your first even conversation around sustainability. And so what Ky and I are asking you to do is, take some time and explore the registry website. And if it's something that you want to explore, you want to keep going, you're interested in the registry, but not exactly sure what to do, sign up for counseling. As it said right there on the website, we have free counseling around the registry. And we're also looking at, if there's interest, to have a next webinar called Plan for Sustainability. And I'll let Ky talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, the Plan for Sustainability is a new initiative that the department is putting forth to help businesses go to that next step. This is designed specifically for small to medium-sized businesses, those businesses that don't necessarily have like environmental consultants at the ready or an environmental health and safety team on board, right? So the design here is that businesses will have an opportunity to look at a template or a roadmap of how that they can create a sustainability plan, right? So this means taking a look at the way they're doing their business from a perspective of the environment and the community. So when you do something like that, there are resources that you're going to need in order to fill in all those blanks, right? Some of these things might be like having to get an energy audit. Well, there's ways to get energy audits, free energy audits. And why would you do that? Because we're of the mindset that you have to measure things in order to make change happen. So anytime you do an audit or just an evaluation, I know maybe audit's a scary word, but it really isn't in this perspective. It's not like we're talking about the IRS. In this perspective, it's just taking a hard look at your facility, your operations, what are you doing from a certain perspective or certain lens. Is it from an energy lens? Is it from a water usage? Or is it for waste generation? And whenever you do something like that, you're evaluating it for how you can make a positive change and then incorporate that into the plan. So, we plan to roll this out and in fact, it's starting pretty much now that people will be able to get a hold of our plan for sustainability templates and start utilizing them.
Awesome.
So I know we've probably touched on a bunch of these already, but when businesses do a plan for sustainability, of course, we expect there to be a benefit to doing that, right? So some of the benefits are things like improved brand reputation. And, when you improve your brand reputation, that could mean a lot of things for those that you're out there. So I know that we have a fashion person on here that's creating sustainable fashion. I'm sure that brand value is very important to that person and creating something that is truly, legitimately sustainable because that's what's going to drive her market. Other people, are maybe very interested in reducing the emissions that they're creating because they don't want to contribute to the climate change and the effects of global warming. So greenhouse gas reductions can be very important to those individuals. And those can have secondary benefits. So like if you lower fuel consumption or you travel less, well, you might be saving money. So those are always one of those things that we are looking to do from a business perspective, is to do that savings. But when you do it in an environmentally responsible way, you may actually be contributing to that bottom line. But one thing that I really like to focus on is improving your safety and health of your workers. So when you do that, you improve worker retention. I know for me, as a manager here, even at the DEP, I do lose staff that will go somewhere else. Maybe they get another opportunity or they change. And that's great. I'm very happy for them. But at the same time, it takes me months to backfill that position and then train somebody to get to the next level. So I try my best to treat my employees with as much respect and upward mobility as I possibly can give them, because having someone leave is really, really hard on us as a program that's trying to keep moving forward and doing things. And if the better I can retain my workers, the better it is for me and my operations. And I'm sure that's true for you guys as well. So, and the last thing I want to say on this benefits page, when you really eliminate those environmental issues, you can also reduce your regulatory burden. So maybe you no longer need that permit. You don't have to comply with that regulation anymore. You don't have to submit that report on an annual basis. We've had this success when we've done pollution prevention at dry cleaners, switching them out from a hazardous substance called PERC and then switching them to wet cleaning technology, and that wet cleaning technology is unregulated. We don't have permits for those guys. They are no longer paying for the permit. They're no longer being inspected for those environmental issues that they had in the past. So for that, that's a realized benefit.
Absolutely. So again, we know that this has been a really high level. You probably have some specific questions. So we wanted to make sure that this webinar had time for, if you have specific questions about your business, about how you want to apply sustainability thinking and goals into your business. So please feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm going to leave this up here for a little bit. Megan is our program coordinator at the New Jersey Small Business Development Center at Fairleigh Dickinson. So if you are interested in counseling, even if you're thinking about it, make sure that you grab Megan's email so that you can reach out and we can start scheduling you to get some counseling to look at sustainability in your business as you move forward. So with that said, we invite you now to put your questions into the chat or any comments even. If you need any clarification, just let us know. We'll answer some questions.
I see one question over there from Albert that asks, can we get some certification or signage like being recognized by the Better Business Bureau? Yes, actually, when you do register with the Sustainable Business Registry, I just want to mention it's a registry and it is not a certification. But you will receive a window cling that you can put on the front of your business. And you'll also get a media package that helps in advertising that information. Included in that media package would be a press release. So you could take the press release and then, send that to your local paper, or you put it on your social media feed, wherever eyeballs are looking for your business. So yes, you would get some of that support by joining the registry.
Awesome. We do have questions from our audience, and one specifically, I think we're asking, oh, there we go. We're asking for Ky's and now Megan's contact information. So Ky, I know you shared your email and Megan's information was shared on the screen. If both of you can just put your information in the chat as well. And of course, everyone who wants to, want to know more information or just go back to certain slides, just a reminder, this webinar is being recorded. It will be available on our website and YouTube channel in just 1 to 2 business days, along with the slides. So if you just complete the brief survey, the link has been shared in the chat. If you share that, then you will receive Karen and Ky's slides as a link, not in the email, just when you complete the survey, it'll show you the link. All right, so that is just a little pitch that we like to remind you. So William Jiang, they wanted information, Ky, so we're assuming that they will reach out to you on your email. We have a question from Shane, and I'm not sure if you can see this. It's so Shane asks, I want to start a multimedia production company. Environmental safety can play a big part in the startup of my company because I want to focus on using CGI, which is computer-generated images, rather than using natural resources to produce films. I could use funds to build a production facility where actors can perform for movies and the environment will be CGI. Are there any programs or grants to help with funding for a production facility like Hollywood? Thank you.
Okay, I mean, I'm not in the film industry, but speaking from an environmental perspective, there isn't anything that I know of that is in particular to your industry group. However, there are things that I did I saw your question earlier, and I did do a quick lookup. There are incentives in New Jersey for the film industry, but they generally come in the form of tax credits. So I don't know if that is something that would be appealing to you. It's not a grant; it's a tax credit, but they do have it for digital media. So if you're interested in that, I'll throw into the chat the web page that you can go to for that kind of information. But like I said, the only thing I really see there is a tax credit. And I just threw the information in the chat for which website you can find that on. That's on New Jersey Economic Development Authority's website.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Crystal asks, any suggestions for a home-based, service-oriented business in being more sustainable? And their home-based, service-oriented business is education programming.
All right. From my thoughts on that would be, whenever any business is doing something, I would look at the number one easy thing to look at is your energy consumption. So that could come in many forms, whether if it's a home-based business, how efficient is your home? And you can go to, you go to your energy supplier, whether it's PSE&G or New Jersey Electric Power, what's the other New Jersey one? Central Jersey Power and Light. I forget what they're called. Anyway, but you go to whoever your electric provider is, and they have a number of programs where you can actually evaluate your home's energy usage and then get suggestions on how to make that more efficient. And that's a free service from all the energy suppliers. The other thing I would look at is, how do you get around? If you're, using a vehicle to get around, a more efficient vehicle would be a good thing to use. But in those terms, I would also reduce your amount of vehicle usage. So the more virtual meetings you do, that would be a benefit. So using, technology like we're using right now is actually an environmental plus. The less you go out driving around, the better it is for the environment. And then when you do education programming, try not to print, try to use digital media so that you're using fewer resources. So these are some of the things that you can do in order to maximize the resources that you have around you. So I think those are some simple things. We'd have to get into more discussion of exactly how you do your business in order to get finer and finer answers.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the marketing material, Ky, because I was just at a conference a few months ago, and someone was touting, that they were just this environmentally friendly business, and then they had all the little marketing things that they were giving away, and it was all this like plastic stuff that someone's going to take it and they're going to probably like put it on their desk for a month, and then guess what? What are they going to do with it? They're going to throw it away. So I was like, boy, this beautiful, I forgot what I wouldn't even say the name of the company, but it was like this beautiful, very, green related logo on this hunk of plastic that really serves no purpose. So, but that's what they sell, right? That's what if you go to those, corporate or, business marketing sites, there's just a lot of, tchotchkes on there. So think about that. Think about, someone gave me a business card once that was made out of seed paper. So you could use, look at the business card and then go plant it and some flowers would grow. That's pretty cool. So that's the type of thing, again, when we pause and we stop and we say, okay, like what's really needed? I love the QR codes, when you have information that, I think it's called Popple, which is, you have on your phone and you can just go over to someone and it pops your contact information right into onto their phone. Like that's the type of stuff that we can do as business owners to show, we're really walking the walk here.
Yeah. Thank you for that. William Auld. Ooh, Karen, that's the same last name as yours.
You might be related.
Yeah, you might be. So William asks, are there limits to the amount of counseling you can utilize within reason, of course? I'm assuming they're asking for your counseling.
Well, he gets
Well,
my counseling every day, so but maybe Uzma, you can talk about like if somebody signs up for counseling, like what to expect.
Sure, but before I get into that, I think Kai had something to say about that.
so, the SBDC offers their counseling. The Department of Environmental Protection offers the Small Business Assistance Program to go out and either do counseling on environmental issues over the phone, over email, and if needed, on-site visits.
Yeah, I would echo the same. So with NJSBDC, if that is what you're referring to, William, if on the amount of counseling that you can get from us. So there's no, I would say it depends. The answer is it depends. So we've seen scenarios where a client comes in, they are very specific on what kind of topic they want to be counseled on. And they will ask this question and it's like, okay, great. You've helped me thus far. That's where we will stop. And, they never come back again, which is fine, which is completely fine because they knew what they wanted. And, they got the answer and then we helped them. That's great. With other clients, we have scenarios where it is, well, like I'm just starting my business or I'm creating my business plan. And then once they are done with, we counsel them on how to create that business plan. And they're like, great, awesome. You really helped me out with this. I would like to receive further counseling on marketing, on how to create my website or something like that. So it really depends on what you would like and what the scenario is. So yeah, feel free to come in, feel free to register njsbdc.com, request counseling. Doesn't matter if it's just a one-time thing or for a year or whatever. Thank you for that question, by the way. We have one more question from Enrique who asks, as a small business, we have created a sustainability policy, but what resources do you recommend to become carbon neutral certified? Ooh.
Okay, so any kind of certification process that anyone is entering into, it really you have to look at those particular programs and what their certification requirements are. So it's not, and there's no one standard. So you have to take a look at the particular entity you're applying to for that certification. Now, for the Sustainable Business Registry, there's no requirement to be carbon neutral if you want to be on the registry. So that's not a thing there. But if you are looking to reduce your carbon emissions, there are plenty of ways to do that. And one of the tools that we like to use here at the department is actually an EPA tool. It's a greenhouse gas calculator that once you put in all the things that would possibly contribute to your greenhouse gas emissions, it would then identify what that is. So you can really define what your carbon footprint is. And then you take your steps from there. Now you know what your emission rate is, where can you make reductions? So, whether that's miles traveled, industrial processes, boilers, heaters, whatever it is that is creating your carbon emission, and then looking at ways that you can do to reduce that. But again, if you're trying to get a particular certification, it depends on what you're going for.
And depending on the size too of your business, there's B Corp is very popular right now for a certification, and that has a lot of meaning to consumers. So people are looking for that. So even like a carbon neutral certification may not be really what is the business driver for you, depending on what your product is as well. So there may be, and even like carbon neutral is a very depending on how you do the math, how you do your calculation, is it net zero? Is it based on, production rates? And, so there's a lot of ways that carbon neutral, is even calculated. So as a business, like, how do you want to pursue that? How do you want to do that calculation? And then you can kind of go from there. But there are, gosh, like Ky said, there's many. And really, like, look to see, especially if you're AR provider who's doing RFPs, what are your suppliers looking for? What is, really what type of certification is going to, serve other portions of your business as well. And, again, marketing could be a big piece of that.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Karen and Ky, both. That concludes our Q&A session. Unless a question comes in the next 5 to 10 seconds, then we can take that. But we're if anyone has any okay. One question just came in. Shelley asked, Rutgers University, Master Gardeners, and others can be very expensive. Do you know of any other programs? If that would require a little bit of clarification.
Yeah.
Shelley, please clarify on what exactly you mean.
Well, I mean, I kind of understand what Shelley's referring to. If you're trying to get a advanced degree or maybe certification, Rutgers is one of the leading groups in New Jersey for getting those types of certifications. They have like a lawn school and turf school over there. And then,
Ky, if I can just interrupt. Shelley responded and said she meant programs to learn how to be sustainable.
Okay. But, you don't necessarily have to go up and get a college degree in these things. I think the most important thing to do is get educated on these sustainability efforts. And the biggest resource is really, talking to folks that are in the industry. Some of them are people like me doing regulatory stuff. Then there are others, like even in the SBDC, that can help businesses understand what they can do to become more sustainable. So, I mean, we're talking about resources right here to help you achieve that level without having to go get a master's degree in sustainability. Now, if you're trying to do it to market yourself as a professional, well, that's different. That then just depends on who's hiring. So I don't really know if you're looking to, just do it for your own self and your own business. You can self-educate and you can get help from other resources. So Department of Environmental Protection, that would be our program that would help you with that. There's lots of resources at the EPA, at the federal government through EPA's sustainability website. There's the Sustainable Business Registry that the SBDC has that you could get a real good education by just going through the resources there. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get a master's degree or something like that, well, then there are other places you can go. But in New Jersey, that would be Rutgers, NJIT, any of the public universities would be a good starting point.
Got it. Hopefully that answers your question, Shelley. Thank you. A last question from Izzet, who asks, can we get direct consulting for our multiple industry product and service provider companies and brands? We are a New Jersey-based international company and executives in offices in places like Germany, UK, Turkey, Italy. And if that is a question for NJSBDC regular counseling, like general consulting, then you certainly can. On the sustainability side, Karen, Ky?
Yeah, I
So,
mean, you
go
can
ahead,
start
Karen.
you can start with the registry. And again, we're here to help with answering some of those initial questions with counseling through SBDC, or again through what Ky does with the Department of Environmental Protection. So I'd say reach out. Again, Megan's email address, that's where you can really start with, to get a hold of me, to start with those specific questions about some sustainability consulting through SBDC.
Yeah.
For sure.
For any of the work that the department does, New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, it would be limited to those facilities in New Jersey. We would not be providing any assistance to facilities outside of the state.
Right. Makes sense. All right. So with with that, now we conclude our Q&A. It is 1:03. I want to be respectful of everyone's time, our attendees, our speakers. Thank you all. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Ky. We really appreciate it. If let's go through our surveys, our answers, and seems like this is a very popular topic now. So if our audience demands it, then we are certainly happy to have you again for a next webinar. And thank you, Megan, as well. So thank you all for doing this webinar for us. Okay, so for our audience who are still with us, thank you so much. Again, if you can't, if you weren't able to in the beginning join, if you join later, there will be a recording available. On Tuesday, we have our startup consultant, Vanessa. We've been doing this registration series since I think November. Every Tuesday, we've been having this on how to register a business. If you're attending this webinar, that means you already have a registered business. It's existing, it's growing. But if you know someone who would like to start a business and they would like to register, then please feel free to refer them to this webinar. Vanessa will walk them through on how to register their business with the state of New Jersey. But that's on Tuesday. If they'd like to attend an in-person event on how to register, then please go to our events page and they can go to the in-person event that's happening on Monday, December 11th. All right, and with that, we are signing off. NJSBDC, New Jersey Small Business Development Centers, has helped 15,000 plus small businesses in New Jersey start, grow, and thrive. No cost small business consulting again, training and events starting at $0, just like this one. Exclusive small business resources. Please scan that QR code if you'd like to visit our website, or just go to njsbdc.com, tap that into Google. It's a great resource. Our website is a great resource, if I can say that myself. You just have to take like 5 to 10 minutes out of, time of your day and just explore. We have resources hub, we have blog posts, we have podcast episodes, we have our video library. That's where our recording for this webinar will go. And there's like hundreds, I'm not even exaggerating, hundreds of videos there on topics like marketing and QuickBooks and taxes and holiday season tips and things like that. So again, a great resource. Please check it out. And we hope to see you next Tuesday, if not then next Thursday. Again, Karen and Ky, Megan, thank you for coming and doing this for us. Signing off, this is Uzma. See you next week. Bye-bye. Take care.